Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode. What episode is it? 4?
Four. Episode
Episode
4.
4. Is it 4?
No, oh wait, no, because we did it
No,
since the
yeah. So
start.
no, it's episode 3. Jesus Christ, if we forgot the episodes already. Episode 3 of Star Wars and coffee. I'll be honest with you, I'm not on coffee today, mate. I'm on Monster. So
I'm nothing at the minute.
I know it's called Star Wars and coffee, but fucking hell. Yeah, it's one of them. It is.
It is indeed.
My lighting is bad. It is. But yeah, so again this week, Mando and Bad Batch, pretty much.
Yep.
I think this week were boring, personally.
I thought it was all right to start with. I mean, the dogfight at the start. I mean, obviously, before we go into it, spoilers ahead, just in case anyone's watching it or listening. You know.
Yeah.
So
obviously, this is
skip
always a
forward
spoiler
ahead.
review. Always
So-
a spoiler review.
Please do not come into this thinking we're going to discuss it and not obviously go on about it. So obviously, this is a spoiler review. Before we carry on, so if you haven't seen it, go and watch it, and then obviously hop back in and listen. But yeah, like going into that dog scene at the dog fight scene was incredible.
Yeah, the first 7 minutes was awesome.
So what I thought actually was quite amusing was the literally the very start is because it's literally where we ended on episode 2. We're in the caverns of Mandalore.
Yeah,
and then
the
obviously
living waters.
That's it, the living waters. And obviously Bo asks if he saw anything or anything.
She's being
like, yo, you're being sneaky, you are, Missy.
She's being a bit shady, isn't she? She's being a bit shady.
She is. She was being very shady about it, and
shady.
And I was like, there's something fishy going on here.
So I think she's. I don't know. I think she just don't want Din to know that there's a mythosaur down there in case my man starts riding it. She wants it to ascend.
I think so, because I think she knows if she rides it, she can reunite the clans.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Darksaber.
Under the
This Darksaber means nothing as if I'm riding a mythosaur kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? Like a mythosaur, freaking damn.
Yeah, she's been a bit shady. I'm starting to not like her, you know. I'm
not gonna lie, I'm starting to love it even more. Like
I still love her.
I don't know what it is about Bo, but I just have so much love and respect for that character over anyone other than obviously the prequel characters because brought up on it and whatnot. But like, I don't know. I don't know what it is about her, but I just find it so much more interesting than any other Mandalorian, even though she's been the only Mandalorian that we've had so much content for. Yeah, like if you look at what we've had for Django, we've had a few comics and obviously episode 2, Attack of the Clones. That's it. Boba Fett is a possible close because obviously bits of Clone Wars arcs, obviously, and then obviously Empire, and then obviously Book of Boba Fett. But like,
Sabine's not far behind. I would say. I think Sabine's got as much as what. Yeah.
So I think if she gets brought into Mandalorian, or when we see her in Ahsoka, obviously I think she'll either be on par or she'll be on par with Din. I think at the very least, because we've had about 3 seasons. So
for me, she's just I don't know. She's cool and I love her. I just don't trust her. I don't.
Yeah.
I loved the episode. What the episode was called. To be fair, I like the name Convert, and it kind of sets it up that the scientist is the convert. Yeah. You know what I mean? But actual reality at the end, when they're like, you're now part of the Children of the Watch, like she's the convert. Do you know what I mean? So it's like one's converted to one side and the other's. I love that. I do. I think that's so cool. It's a nice little foreshadowing kind of thing.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, the dogfight, mate, were fucking insanely good.
Incredible. Mate, yeah, I loved it.
It just shows you how good that N1 Naboo Starfighter is, mate. It
fucking... The sheer fact that he just dropped off his jetpack, landed, rolled a few, hopped in, he pulled it out, and he literally just went woof,
and then
you did not see it.
I noticed he does the move that he does with the Razor Quest in season 1. He's like, can I do this in this? Do you know what I mean? Which were cool. He's like, my Razor Quest could do this. Can this do it? So that was cool to see.
That were really good, yeah.
The best scene in that whole thing were when they're all like this. They both, I think she says, "This is the way," which is another cool shadowing.
Yeah.
And then so does Din, and then you hear Grogu in background going, and it's like he's trying to say, "This is the way,"
but he's not.
I think that's what he says, but obviously
he's trying to. I think,
which is so cool, like a little nod to like Grogu's going to be a Mandalorian, mate. Like I fucking love that. It was so cool, and like not many people will pick up on the fact that they've just gone, oh, Grogu's just made some noises, but for us that's like Grogu's actually starting to learn to talk. Do you know what I mean? Like because you can tell he's got a lot cleverer. Like, with small things like when Din stands up and he's like, I'm going to do the drop off, and he just fucking presses his button so his fucking shield comes up. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's cleverer than people make out. Obviously, last week he went from Mandalore to Bo-Katan to fetch her to save Din as well. So, so pretty cool. I mean, what did you think to the scientist stuff then? I liked it personally.
I liked it, but I think the reason why I liked it is it had that espionage feel, so it gave that feel of Andor.
It had Andor,
and that's what and that's what I was like, I actually feel this, and I like the fact that we've got to see a bit more about the Doctor as well. Obviously, Dr. Pershing, we haven't really seen or heard much of him.
Yeah.
And obviously, I wanted to know what happened with him, because obviously he started all this cloning process. He's been dragged from Kamino, I assume, anyway. Or he's been with the Empire, but he's been dragged from Kamino to do all the testing.
Well, I don't think he were ever on Kamino. I think it's when when Moff Gideon's ship got taken. So, but they do drop in there they do drop in that conversation as well that Moff Gideon. So there's two theories that Moff Gideon's hooked up to a mind flare, and then someone says that he escaped on his way for on some transaction. I think he's out there alive, but so I was reading online a few things, watching some videos of like Easter eggs that I'd missed and things like that. Mm-hmm. Someone pointed out that one of the TIE fighters, the TIE interceptors, is actually got markings of Thrawn on it. So Thrawn's TIE interceptors had markings on it, apparently. I didn't pick up on it personally. I don't know if people are overshooting but that's a couple of people are saying that the TIE interceptors have got Thrawn, and there's a big, all over internet at the moment, there's people saying that Thrawn is connected to this, which she states that, that's a lot of interceptors for a warlord. So the only person I could think that's got that many interceptors would be Thrawn.
I actually have a feeling, because obviously Thrawn's actual ship is a TIE D, so a TIE Defender, and he's got so it has 2 points here, and then there's 2 down here, so it's like there's 2. Let me just get it in camera.
If you watch it on Spotify, then go over to YouTube.
2 basically, there's 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then there's 2 on the top. Yeah. So it acts as like a little pincer thing. Okay. That's the TIE Defender, and obviously that's his ship that he gets made he gets someone to go out and test it. Now, if that's the case, that this is a little nod.
Well, people are just saying that it's got his markings on the actual ship. I'm not too sure. I'll have to have a look. If I can put it up on screen now, I'll put it up on screen. And just go over to YouTube. I mean, the video is on Spotify as well, so if you open up the Spotify and have a look, I'll put it up on screen again. But I don't know if it's true. If it's true, or people are reaching a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, from what she says about these warlords, it kind of fits at the same time as to how he would have a fleet. Do you know what I mean? Like he would still. I don't think Thrawn would be going around with just a couple of TIE interceptors or a couple of TIE fighters. Do you know what I mean? So
it's because Palpatine trusted him like a lot.
Yeah.
So he got his own fleet. So if he's been in hiding all this time, this is his time to appear.
And it would make sense to set him up for Ahsoka, because he's clearly going to be in Ahsoka. Like, I can't see him not being in Ahsoka, especially after she name dropped him in Mando season 2. So I can't see it happening. It'd be a cool little setup. It would be, and that could be the big surprise for end of season 3, that it's Thrawn. You know, we never thought of that at the end. Thrawn is a big enough character that people that would. I don't think he's as big as, like we were saying the other week, that this ending is supposed to be as big as season 2, but I don't think Thrawn's as big. But he is somebody that would get a lot of people excited. He is.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think, I mean, it depends on what you look at him like. Obviously, if you're looking into obviously all your legend stuff, I mean, even then he's not as popular as that Luke scene, but he's definitely up there for me that I would say a lot of people would be excited for, and I think that's what they were trying to hinder at, the fact that it's a character that everyone will be excited for, and they'll be buzzed for it, and I think that's what it is. So I think if anything, it is. I think for me at the minute, if it's going to be anyone, my opinion is I think we've got a higher chance of seeing Thrawn more than anyone.
I would agree with that. I think it sets up Ahsoka.
Exactly, like I say, it sets up Ahsoka. Then we can obviously jump straight into it, get to see the Purrgil, get to see Ezra, and what. Obviously, if that is what actually happens at the end of this season. But again, though, there's nothing saying that at the end of this season is they're not led directly straight into Ahsoka, or because they are meant to cross over at some point.
No, yeah, because people they're dubbing this as the Mando verse, aren't they? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think they're all going to connect at some point, and they're all going to have to like join forces to fight at some point.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on? So there were a couple of things like I liked the whole middle part of the show. I think the Dr. Pershall, whatever his name is, went on a bit too long. Personally,
yeah.
It was cool to see all that, like the ticket scene with the droid and them getting away from the droid and stuff like that. I don't think that needed to be there, but there were some cool shots in there. As like, so when they're eating ice cream, have you noticed that he's eating a blue ice cream and she's eating a red ice cream? Kind of foreshadowing good and evil kind of thing. And then when he goes to touch, so with all the like. The cloning aspects and things like that, it's clearly leading to like, I don't know if they're going to tell us what Snoke, how Snoke become about and the cloning of Palpatine, but it seems to all be heading towards the prequels, the sequels, sorry, and this cloning stuff. I think personally we're getting another big bad. I think we're getting a Sith Lord, or maybe not a Sith Lord, but someone that's
related,
like enhanced in the Force and things like that. In this, I don't think in this season, but in this whole, because apparently Ahsoka's going to go for a couple of seasons. Mando, they want to do 4 or 5 seasons of. I mean, probably even more, because Dave Filoni said that. John Favreau said that
he's got an ending.
Yeah, he says he hasn't got an ending in sight, and then you've got everything else that they're going to announce and blah 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 at fucking. Star Wars Celebration and what have you. So I think we get a big bad, and it would make sense that you've got obviously you've got your big bad in first ones. You know what I mean? Which is Dooku.
Yeah.
Your big bad, which is Vader, and then your big bad, which is Snoke and Palpatine. This seems to be like set in between them two, so you need a big bad for there as well. I don't think Snoke's about yet. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. And I think the end of the Mandoverse is when it sets up Snoke. Do you know what I mean? That's
I think that's what I'll do, because a lot of people have said that obviously,
which
a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in it, obviously Dr. Pershing and all the others and all the cloning stuff, is obviously as much as Palpatine got rid of everything to do with cloning, he obviously kept people behind to do the cloning for him.
Which we're seeing, which we're also seeing in Bad Batch at the moment as well. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
it's like,
so
and
there's nods here and there.
that foreshadows that as well. So have you noticed when Pershall goes to touch the rock on Coruscant?
Yep.
The prequel music plays. So is that foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Right, we're out of the originals. We're into the prequels now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because why, out of nowhere, the prequel, which never played before, and then literally as soon as he goes to touch that rock, it's kind of like the prequel music starts. And then is that saying, right, when we're shifting now, or we're shifting to the future? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've shown you a lot of the past, and we've kind of done stuff that, you know, makes a bit more sense of the past and stuff like that. Let's now look to the future kind of thing, which, if so, or it could just be that fucking they just chucked in the music there as a little fucking nod kind of thing.
Nod, yeah. I mean,
but I like it. It was cool. The foreshadowing. Some of the Easter eggs were mint. Like she worked. Is it F-62, wherever her name is?
Yeah. Can't remember her name.
The bird. She walks up the same steps as what? Is it?
Anakin
walks up.
And the Senate when he's going to sit down.
It's a cool little.
And he goes on about thingy.
Darth Plagueis the Wise, which is also cool that they're using that. So they could have used anywhere in Coruscant, but they used the one place that they set up Darth Plagueis, and the whole cloning shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's such a weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because Plagueis was all about messing with the midichlorians, you know, Anakin not having a father and not fucking, you know, so just weird how it all ties kind of together, in my opinion. I loved it. Again, I think it were a bit too long in the middle. I do. I think they were.
Yeah.
I like the whole like shifting of characters. Did you notice as well that Herschel, every time he made a lie, every time he told a lie, he rubbed his tab.
Yeah.
Which were so watch out for that in future episodes, because I don't think we're done with him, and I don't think he's been memory wiped personally. I think she's tried to do it, but they were stated so many times that it's not a mind flayer anymore. So even by turning up to 100, I still don't think it does what she wants it to do.
Yeah, I think it'll just wipe it, so maybe he'll forget more rather than.
I think he forgets, but then it starts to come back.
Clicks. Yeah, I seem to something will trigger.
I don't think we're done with him whatsoever. I genuinely don't. So yeah, she's a cunt. For her, that scene is brutal as well when she turns that up and then she just starts nomming on his favourite biscuit. I'm like, you horrible bastard. I don't like her. And from the minute she were like, oh, I'll show you about her, I do not trust this bitch, because she's fucking, she's having you on here, mate. She is.
I mean, as soon as I saw her, I was like, there's something odd about you,
yeah. But yeah, it was cool. I love that. And then we get to the ending, was my favourite part, because one, Paz Vizsla, you know, for 100%,
he's gonna end up fighting. Yeah,
under that mask, mate. He's not happy.
He's proper pissed because one, Clancy, obviously pre-Vizsla was the head of Death Watch in Clone Wars, obviously, as you know, and then obviously Bo-Katan was his sort of like second in command. So obviously she betrayed him. He's clearly knows of that history.
Yep.
And
he's like, not, and then to just be like, but you're part of children at watch now, mate. He's not happy.
You know something's gonna go down with those two just because of the history of the two.
Also,
plans in general.
So what we're cool is when he says something to her, he says, and who's the night owl or something like that. It was cool to hear the actual phrase night owls used, because obviously that's what she set up. I've never heard it in live action. Never heard anyone call her a night owl, which were cool. And then he's just like he's just under face. He's like, I lost to this bitch. I've lost to fucking Din. I do you know what I mean? And then the armorer knows exactly who it is from not even seeing her face, and she doesn't even really speak either. And I think the armorer is somebody from Clone Wars.
Yeah, so like I sent you a message last night about a said theory that I saw like 3 times.
I don't know. I think she's just. I think she was part of the Mandalorians. I do.
Yeah, so I'd heard a theory that she was someone called Root. I think it was Root Cust or something like that.
I don't know any names or all like that. I think them two have got a past. You can feel it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, them two have got a past. Yeah, because she doesn't even speak to her. She literally just like And she's like, Bo-Katan Kryze. And I'm like, how do you know that's Bo-Katan? Because there's loads of Mandalorians that wear that exact same outfit, and she knows it's Bo-Katan straight away, which is weird. But then she open-armedly just says to her, look, you've bathed in the living waters. Have you removed your helmet? No? Right, well, until you do, and you're welcome to stay until you want to stay.
Open arms.
Yeah,
Yay.
she's like, come and have a cup of tea and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? Like,
sit down and have a brew.
Yeah, like you're here now until you take that helmet off or you do something to not be. I think personally, where it goes is Mando and Bo-Katan. They kind of change the children at watch, and
I think they do.
I think she stays, but she shows Mando the ways of Mandalore rather than the watch. Do you know what I mean? So taking your helmet off is not a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Like and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So all in all, it was a good episode. It was just that middle bit, like it just went on way too long for my liking. We could have.
Yeah.
I felt like we were just like adding shit to make it longer, and for this one to be the 57-minute episode felt a bit out of place. Do you know what I mean? Like we could have took time out of this one and put it in like the first episode because it didn't need to be there, in my opinion. But it is what it is. We got an episode. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode because it was one of them story developing episodes. It's a setup episode.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So
it's setting the bigger ending up, basically.
100%.
Stories.
So that's Mando done. I mean, again, I really enjoyed it. It could have been a bit shorter. But then at the same time, I think it's just because when I'm watching Mando, I just want Mando. I don't. Yeah. I don't want to see these other people as much as I do, but I want them to be involved with Mando. Do you know what I mean? Which is weird when you watch it. Something like Andor, I'd have been fine with it.
Yeah.
But for a Mando episode, I'm kind of like, where's Mando? Do you know what I mean? So it's weird. It is. But
we've had the thing is we've had Andor previously anyway in the movie, so we know what he gets up to.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously with Din, he's like a new character to us. So like, we want to know more about him.
Yeah.
Rather than
some random
geezer. Yeah.
Which I mean, we'll see where it goes from here. So on to Bad Batch this week. Unfortunately for me, not much to talk about. I thought it was shit. It were dog.
Again, so this is what I wanted to mention to you earlier. I said I don't like it. I did like it, but again, I am now finding that compared to last week's dropping down to this is a bit of a disappointment. However, I have heard that it is meant to set something up further in the line in the next few seasons. So anything that's happened throughout here is something to take into sort of like slow consideration. So we're supposed to, I don't know what it's setting up. I just heard on Twitter that supposedly it's supposed to set something up further down the line.
I just thought it were when we've gone from an episode that were for me that like made me really like go fucking hell. You know what? I'm actually into this now. Yeah. That one episode did a lot for me to get into it, and then it went up, and then it just this week just brought it back down, and I was like, it's same old Bad Batch for me. Like,
I think the issue is, I think that now, I think after what we got in season 1, I think we're now expecting almost the same in the next seasons, and it's all right to some degree, but at the same time, it's also unfair because obviously we've got to have some bad episodes to make the really good episodes that are going to happen. And another thing to take into consideration, the end one is going to be another 2-episoder as well.
I know, but still,
loads that's going to happen.
I just when you're watching something week by week like that, and like it does something so good. Like for me personally, like I don't think Bad Batch season 1's as great as people make it out personally. And again, that's probably because I don't love the characters. Like they're okay. The reason I watch it is because it's in the Star Wars universe. That's just my opinion. And you're all entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
If you love Bad Batch, then fair play to you. Like I'm happy that you're invested in it.
Yeah.
But I just can't get invested in these characters as much as everybody else. I watch it because it's part of Star Wars and it's got that stuff in there. But for an episode that, like, I mean, last couple of episodes, I've actually started going, you know what? I'm actually starting to get on board with these characters a little bit. And then this week, the story of the episode just fell so flat compared to what it were last week. It took such a dive. It didn't need to be there in any opinion, and whether down the line it becomes something or not, in my opinion, it still didn't need to be there yet. If that becomes a thing down the line, do it down the line. I don't need to see. It was like watching a 20-minute Star Wars episode of 2022. Or is it 2022? 2012. The fucking film, the disaster film. It was just no happened. The best scene was first 5 minutes. Probably not even. It weren't even 5 minutes in that little scene where to actually seeing Omega do something and actually being, she's actually quite capable. And then, like, for me, it's took all this time to go, actually, Omega's actually capable. And then now we're talking about, she's got to go and live like a child or what have you. To me, I'm not there yet. Do you know what I mean? I'm still at the. We've only just found out that she's actually started being capable of being a soldier and making decisions and what have you.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she's found out to be capable, bosh, let's go and send her off to be a child. Like, it makes no sense. We've took her on all these missions when she's not capable of being on these missions. But then when we start to think she is capable, we're not going to do it anymore. Because that's the vibe I got from the episode, is we're going to live here because... And that was question me if I'm wrong, but I couldn't see any other plot to that episode other than, oh, look at her, she's smiling, we've not seen her laugh for ages, she's not got no friends, she's getting a friend. Do you know what I mean? That's all I saw from that episode. Why are we doing that already? That should be an end of, like, season 3 thing for me, personally. When she's getting badass, I want to see her be badass for a season and then start worrying about how she's not been able to be a child, how she's not had no friends, how she's not laughed for ages.
It's not that she's got no friends, because did she not become friends with Hera in season 1?
Yeah, I think they mean, like...
They helped out, obviously, I think they mean... Yeah, I think...
Like, I know that she's not around friends all the time, but that's why they go to this place and they go, oh, shall we come and live here? And at a time where it's like... the story in the background is about clones not being able to just settle down and live a normal life because they're soldiers, and then these clones are going, oh, let's settle down and live a normal life. Like, it's weird.
So I think why it ended like it did, I think next one, I don't think it's going to be all sunshine and whatnot.
No, I don't think they'll stay there. It was just a weird episode. I didn't enjoy.
I think it'll set up other stuff, obviously, but again, we've got to have bad episodes before we get to go.
It was 22 minutes to eat my dinner with. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. I didn't come out going, fucking hell, yes. It didn't make me anchor for more Bad Batch next week. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing with Bad Batch. Like, when I was watching, Clone Wars, obviously not the original Clone Wars, but when I was watching Clone Wars the final season, it was like, couldn't wait to get to the next one. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Bad Batch, it was just always like, when I've got time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, but Mando, it's like, I can't wait for next week's. And to be fair, Andor did this with me Andor did it with me as well, because I wasn't that into Andor. I like it, but it's not the Star Wars that I love. I weren't like anchoring for Andor every week, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Mando and Obi-Wan, I were like, fucking, I need more.
Yeah,
and Obi-Wan even got to a point where I was like, there were a middle part of Obi-Wan for me, and it was just like, I think it were after the episode of, where they go to the desert and she turns up and saves Obi-Wan and Leia. I was just like, as much as Anakin were in that episode and they were in the background and Obi-Wan was seeing like visions of him and stuff, I was like, I'm not buzzed for next week's episode. Do you know what I mean? I think the only two for me that have done that, and people don't put enough respect on it, is Boba Fett and Mando. Boba Fett for me was incredible.
Yeah.
I don't get how people hate on that show so much. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I get it was like, there was little bits in Boba where it was like, you could see part of the set and part of the... I get that, but at the same time, you just got to ignore it. It happens, unfortunately. Enjoy the story, enjoy the content, enjoy Star Wars.
My biggest My biggest hate that I hated that people hated on was the bikes, the mod bikes. So they've stated that these kids are mods, and like, would you think anywhere so this universe is fucking massive, right? You would think that people would be able to accept that there's a group of kids that modify their bikes to look like scooters.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not even that. Like, if you look at everything George has designed, like, there is some stuff in there that you just question, and you're like, to be fair, if you look compare those to what George has done, they're exactly the same almost. Like,
and it's just a nod to a culture. Like, that's all it is. It's a nod to a British culture. Yeah. That's all it. Well, not even mostly British, but like what he's trying to get at in that point is in a universe so large there are different cultures, and that culture would probably happen. I mean, it happened in the world of fucking Earth. Do you know what I mean? So why wouldn't it happen in a fucking giant universe? It makes no sense. And it makes no sense as to why I hate on it. And I get that Boba Fett, and people are always like, oh well, Boba Fett's not this bad motherfucker that we know. And I'm like, what bad hard motherfucker that you know? Like,
I'm gonna say we haven't seen anything.
You never saw you saw one episode of him being bad hard in fucking Mandalorian, and then you saw 3 minutes of him in 2 films. You don't even know what he does. All you've done is read Legends fucking shows now that you know's not gonna. That's not the Boba Fett that you're getting anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this Boba Fett has to also sell to kids. That's unfortunately what has to happen. And that is the biggest thing that Star Wars fans need to get over, is Star Wars is primarily for kids. Hence why we always get a BB-8. Hence why we get a Jar Jar Binks. Hence why fucking Baby Yoda, Grogu himself, is in The Mandalorian. Do you really think Grogu was supposed to survive season 1 of Mando? Because I don't. I think he was supposed to die, and they went, no. This motherfucker sells toys.
Yeah.
That is the truth, mate. That is the honest truth, I believe. I don't think you were getting out of that. And they went, fucking hell, everybody loves Baby Yoda. Fucking keep him in. I could be wrong, but he's there to sell toys, and he's there for the kids. And look what's happened. Lo and behold, he fucking sells. People love Mando, but people love Mando mostly for fucking Baby Yoda. We love Mando for Mando. And I love Grogu at the same time. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm a fucking Grogu fan. I am. And I like what Grogu does for Star Wars fans at the same time as we might find more about Yoda's species. Because we were told that we'd never find anything out about that. But he's there to sell toys, just like BB-8 in the sequels is there to sell toys, just like Jar Jar Binks in the prequels is there to sell toys, just like R2 and C-3PO are there in the originals to sell toys. That is the lay of the land. Do you know what I mean? Why is R2 some kind of, he's kind of funny and he's a bit like, whoa, do you know what I mean? He's there to sell toys. That's literally all it is. Because Star Wars is for kids. Why do you think in the sequels we've got a female protagonist this time round? Why? Because we wanted to sell to a female generation and show the girls that it's alright to watch Star Wars. And you don't have to be Princess Leia in a gold bikini.
I mean that was all down to like George's decisions and stuff. But
that was Star Wars for females was always it was always portrayed as, sexy, and do you know what I mean? Then now it's a powerful young woman that can hold her own, that she can make her own. Do you know what I mean? That's what it was. That's why we had Rey.
Yeah.
And as much as we hate on her, it worked. How many young girls have grown up wanting to be Rey? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be Rey because I'm like, fucking, where's my Luke Skywalker? But unfortunately, I've had my Luke Skywalker. They've not had theirs. Do you know what I mean? So that's what did they have to look up to? Princess Leia in a gold bikini. Do you know what I mean? That's not a role model to look up to.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, she changed and then she did become a strong, powerful woman that, she starts leading a rebellion and what have you. But do you really think in episode one, she was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I say, it's for people to look up to and to obviously take
what Star Wars
inspiration
is.
from.
And
Yeah.
and then don't get me wrong. There's the layers to the Star Wars. There is Star Wars there that's for us at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's in the background for us to pick at and us to look at and
Yeah,
go. Do you know
exactly.
what I
Yeah.
mean? But the primary main focus of it is hence why fucking Force Awakens is literally a lay by lay of fucking A New Hope. Because if it's not broke, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean? And what's the highest selling Star Wars film after fucking New Hope? I think it's Force Awakens. I think it's the only one that's in the top 20 films of all time. You don't see Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker in there. You see the one that followed the formula. And the same formula that fucking Phantom Menace followed. So yeah, that's my rant. Fucking hell, I just got on a rate rant there. I don't know. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Just it's just from people winding me up with Boba Fett. That's all it did. Boba Fett was good. Get over it. Anyway, there's only one bit of Star Wars news, then that's Acolyte filming in Portugal. Is it Portugal?
So essentially, Acolyte is to film at a location called Fennel Forest, and I believe that was. I think that was what they used for. Let me double check, but I'm sure that's what they used for Cheek.
Right. So, you know these leakers and stuff like that leak these locations. I've never understood the point of leaking a set location. Like, what does it tell you if they're in a forest? That there's going to be a scene in a forest?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't tell you much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're filming on a wall. Right, well, there's going to be a scene with a wall behind it. Like, it...
I mean,
in my opinion, it's grasping at the straws of leaking something that doesn't need to be leaked at all. It doesn't. It's like Game of Thrones used to do it a lot. Oh, they're in Finland. I know, because there's going to be a snow fucking scene. Because guess what? They fight snow zombies in this show. And we've known they were going to fight snow zombies for the last 7 seasons. So, yeah, I've never understood the leaking of locations.
So basically, it's to replace... So it's to replace... Where was it? I was just tough and lost it.
Mental. Yeah, we're filming. Can you imagine if someone turned around and went, Avatar, we're filming in water on Avatar 2?
So it's because the national park that they were going to use, they had a reservoir in it, but it dried up and ice had sprayed all over it, so they couldn't use it. So they had to then go to another location. But the thing that I like about this is the fact that they are using actual locations.
I'm happy that they've announced like they're actually doing on-set locations rather than using what's it called?
The
volume. Which I love the volume, don't get me wrong, but like Ant was saying on episode 1, you can tell when it's the volume and you can tell when it's real life. As much as you couldn't in season 1 of Mando, but then going back to actually doing sets on locations, you can then start telling you could tell a lot was in the volume of this episode of Mando, in my opinion.
Yeah,
there were a lot done in volume. There were, but yeah, that's literally all Star Wars news there is. When is Celebration? When do you go? April.
7th to the 10th of April, which I'm not gonna lie, mate. I am absolutely buzzed. We've had so much dropped. Like over these past few days, we've had so much dropped. It's ridiculous. So there's a new Loungefly. It's an Armor one. It's going to be a Celebration exclusive. There's going to be a Jar Jar Binks Phantom Menace Funko Pop, which is going to be a Celebration exclusive. It's when he bends down to get the spanner, and his tongue gets shocked by the pod racer thing. So he's got his tongue dribbling out. and then there's a double pack with R2 and R5 from Mando.
Oh,
I don't know
like
where
that.
I don't know where the R2 one came in. I think
well, they
they've
were in
just
season 2, weren't they? So.
Oh yeah. But yeah, R5, an R2 double pack, and
that one's cool. I'd take that one. But the Jar Jar Binks one, keep
that. Trying to think what else we've had. So we've had the panels. More panels have been announced. We've had the exhibitors being announced. Lightspeed Lanes, which is new this Funko for the Funko shop and official Celebration merch. We've had 2 Celebration pins, not standard, singular pins, both Chewbacca one, and I assume they're gonna drop more. If it's just, I'll be really disappointed, to be honest. Because last year they were I think they were like 4.
Okay.
Well, and then obviously
Adam's going to be there, so I won't be there. So I'm going to get Adam to send me some nice little photos and shit like that. And I'm going to probably do some live streams on the YouTube channel while Adam's there.
I mean, I have a small mic that I can plug into my phone. And
all that, so we can make some. So he can make some videos if you want to. If you want to see him do some videos and stuff like that while he's over there, that'd be cool. But I'm going to live stream the whatever's there, whatever I can live stream, I'll probably live stream. Obviously, trailers that drop, if they do drop any trailers, I'm hoping they drop some trailers online for the people that can't make it.
I think there is going to be trailers that are dropped. However, I don't think they are going to announce them till a month or 2 after the celebration.
I fucking hate that.
Because they do that. They've done that a lot. So
no, but like, obviously when they announced, like Last Jedi got its trailer there and everyone got it online, places like that. So I'm hoping they do. They'll not drop everything for the public, but I'm hoping there's at least a couple of things that they'll drop for us.
So I think you'll get the Ahsoka one personally, because last year they showed the trailer to obviously the people that attended Celebration, and I think I think then the one that everyone else isn't gonna see, I think is because that's supposed to be dropped like near the end of this year to the start of 2024.
Yeah. So
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, so hopefully, and I'll react to the trailers and what have you. At the same time, it's a week before Survivor, isn't it?
Yeah, Survivor's 28th of April, I believe.
28th, fucking hell, that's a long way away. I don't know whether we want to do. I might live stream that on our YouTube channel, and all we'll see when we get there. See what everyone's vibe is, because I want to focus a lot on the YouTube side of things at the moment. So Spotify is going to be there. It's all going to still go up on Spotify, but I want to push YouTube hard. So yeah, I want to put content out. We've not done much content for the YouTube, so hopefully that'll come within the next couple of months. Well, the next couple of weeks. But yeah, other than that, thank you for listening. This has been Star Wars and Coffee episode 3. You can find us on all the social medias, Twitter. Well, I say all the social medias, one social media. Oh no, Instagram. We're going Instagram as well now. Instagram. So it's the 501st Podcast at Twitter, 501st Podcast at Instagram, 501st on Spotify, 501st on YouTube. So it's just search 501st and it'll all come up. And we're also on Apple Music now as well.
Oh,
we are also, so it also goes up on Apple Music. Yeah, other than that, it's been a mediocre episode of Star Wars for me personally. I'm looking forward to next week's though, see where it goes, especially with Mando. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, I will. I'll see you next week. I don't know if Adam will.
Yeah, I will see you next week as well.
Of course he will. And if you are waiting for the movie podcast, we are coming back with the movie podcast. We need to sort it out properly and get a proper routine going and regime going. It's hard to do when it's hard to do, especially when me and Adam work together and we can hardly be off together. So we started going, oh, we'll do it on Sundays, and then I'm like, well, football's on Sunday, so it's coming. Don't worry, we've not forgot about it. It is coming. But Star Wars and coffee is going to keep you going for now. Don't worry. Don't you worry yourself. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening, everybody. Remember to leave a like on the Spotify, subscribe over at YouTube, follow us on Twitter, all that jazz. And remember, this is the way.
This is the way.